What's up guys, it's your boy TRIPLUS, and today we're going to be looking at the best pro player on Mirage in 2022. So it's actually not Simple or ZywOo. In fact, it's Axile from Cloud9. Against top 20 opponents, Axile and Simple are tied for the top spot with a 1.29 rating. But when we look at top 5 opponents, this is where Axile really comes into form and comes in at a whopping 1.34 rating. And he's far and away the best player in this category. So the question is, how does Axile achieve these insane numbers and what can we learn from it? Let's get right into the analysis. Hopping into a game from the recent RMR, we've got round 8 of G2 versus Cloud9, and there's a couple of really cool things that Axile does in this round. First of all, let's take note of how Axile is able to keep the rotations towards B early round. Axile is really good at finding entries around the extremities of the map, and while he doesn't find one in this round, he makes the B anchor and HooXi pretty uncomfortable. In this situation, HooXi is playing very safe and he doesn't want to risk dying early in this round. However, by playing so safe, HooXi sacrifices a lot of information and Axile knows this. He throws a smoke to block off the windows and mollies fan. This allows Cloud9 to set up a super deadly A-split finisher in the late round, but how does this happen? Well, check out the rotations from G2 here. So all the presence shown from Axile earlier actually forces G2 to go looking for information in the mid round, and by bolstering the B site, Cloud9 are actually able to get Nafny into window, which basically seals the fate of this round. Now, normally it's pretty risky for Nafny to be jumping up window here, but since Nafny hears a reload sound from market, he assumes that the jungle position is clear, and Nico was the only CT shooting at the time. So now with the trap set, let's see how Cloud9 finish off this round. First of all, Axile trades out the site anchor in JKS, which allows him to speed up in clearing the rest of the site, as it's pretty unlikely that anyone else is really on site here. As he's doing this, he notices a lurk smoke coming out from Nico, and this allows Shiro to set up a great utility set to support Axile. First, he flashes the ticket booth, which blinds Monezi and forces him off the line. Crucially, in this setup between Nico and Monezi, both players are covering each other, and now with Monezi revealing his position behind Ticket, Axile takes the chance to clear out Nico, and combined with the Molotov from Shiro, he gets a super impactful 3k, locking in the round win for Cloud9. Switching on over to the CT side, let's take a look at a round where Cloud9 choose to half buy, so the utility and firepower is pretty limited in this round. When it comes to rounds like this, you need to be able to create favorable gunfights through positioning alone. Even if you find just a single frag, the value of that one frag is so much higher since a lot less was invested into finding it. Axile is super dangerous in these kinds of rounds, and it shows here as he finds a great early frag onto Nico using an off position above the ladder. Now since no one is able to trade Nico here, Axile is able to upgrade into an AK as well, which actually throws this entire round into disarray for them. So later in the round, G2 start to even the odds again, and we eventually end up in a 3-on-3, but I absolutely love what Axile does here in terms of positioning. He understands that with all the pressure towards B site early on in the round, if G2 were to rotate, they would likely do so through the underpass, as it's the fastest route towards A site. This is also due to the fact that Hunter already cleared out this position earlier and found a kill onto the AWPer. Axile is great at catching his opponents off guard with his positioning, and you can see here by walking further up the catwalk, HooXi doesn't actually expect to be taking this gunfight so early coming out of underpass, as normally he would have to be on the mid bench or inside connector to be fighting short, so when he starts getting shot from mid catwalk, he is caught completely off guard. What Axile does after this kill though is also incredibly smart. Notice how he doesn't immediately try to take the second fight onto JKS, and this is intentional. For JKS, it means that he now has to consider more options. You see, as more time passes without information, the more time JKS has to doubt the positioning of Axile. Even though Axile ends up taking the fight eventually from a very similar angle, from JKS's point of view, you can see how he was beginning to check different angles, and this gives Axile the best possible chance to win the gunfight. So after this kill, Hunter is now left in a 1 versus 3 situation, and Cloud9 easily convert what should have been a round loss into a round win, all thanks to Axile. Let's go back in time a little and check out round 5 between Outsiders and Cloud9 at the PGL Major Antwerp. Something that I think is really cool about Axile's game is that he isn't afraid to be the first player in, and this is a perfect example. Axile sends it up catwalk very early in this round to find Yakinda in connector, and just look at how fast this is. Yakinda does not expect this at all. The interesting thing about this though is that other than a window smoke and a top mid smoke, there isn't really much utility being used to help Axile find this frag, and that's by design. Cloud9 want to give the illusion of a default round being played without too much aggression, and this is exactly why Yakinda gets caught off guard here. Entry kills are often some of the most impactful kills in the game, but Axile often takes this a little bit further. After making some presence in connector, he actually makes the silent jump onto the window ledge, which is actually pretty easy to do, but a lot of players don't actually use this. Window is one of the best positions you can get into on T side, as it allows you to not only flank important positions, but it also allows you to cut off rotations. And here Axile shows us a little bit of both. Since Jame was already firing off shots towards market, Axile is ready to catch him off guard with his forward positioning in jungle, and of course he's able to hit a banger of a shot in towards CT spawn as well. The thing I love about Axile is that he makes so many round winning plays, and he doesn't actually rely on his aim too much to make it happen, even though he has great aim of course. Axile often outpositions his opponents and makes every gunfight as favorable as possible. This is a big part of why he's able to consistently have such big impact on one of the most played maps in CSGO's history. So let's take a look at one final example and then we'll wrap up on this. So the last round I want to look at is between FaZe and Cloud9 at IEM Dallas. This was of course the event that Cloud9 ended up winning this year, and the main man Axile himself claimed the MVP for the whole tournament, so you know this last clip is going to be something special. The round starts off with Cloud9 taking some basic mid control through underpass. Now, because Axile has very limited utility in this round, he chooses to get boosted up on the window ledge. In this A-split tactic from Cloud9, Axile kind of acts as an insurance policy to kill the jungle player. And even though Nafny dies here, Axile is able to trade very quickly. This also allows Cloud9 to have jungle control, which is of course very good for a post plant. However, FaZe actually stacked the A site in this round with 4 players, and while Cloud9 managed to get the bomb down, Axile is left in a 1 versus 3 situation. So let's analyze how he plays this, because there are a couple of fine details that are super easy to miss. So in the first gunfight against Brokey, you might be wondering why Axile seems to be aiming so low. This is actually due to him hearing the scope from Brokey in jungle. Since movement speed is significantly slowed when AWPing, Axile aims lower for the crouch peek onto his position. Regardless, Axile finds this first kill with relative ease. Now with his position known, it becomes pretty difficult, you would think, for him to win this. However, notice how Axile sprays the wood wall. This actually wallbangs the plant position, but it serves another purpose. It's actually used to distract Twists and to bait him into attempting to fire back through the wallbang. This is why Axile swings hard past the wallbang after spraying the wall, as he wants to catch Twists off guard and distracted, and it works. For the fourth and final kill, Axile swings out even wider, and this is because he knows that Rops was AWPing towards A main. Not only does this make him much harder to hit, it also gives him an advantage due to the right eye peek. When you peek to the right in CSGO, you actually gain a slight advantage due to less of you being seen as opposed to a left eye peek. Every single move of Axile has incredible thought behind it, and it's thanks to his intuition that he is the most impactful player on Mirage. So that's the video, thanks for watching. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe and give the video a like for the algorithm. Thanks for watching, peace out.